Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all of you. Today we would like to present about our project, which is AIS655 Accounting System Analysis and Design. Today we would like to present about our PBL2. First of all, I want to introduce all my team members. Starting with me, my name is Siti SAKINA binti Muhammad Zaki. The second is ATHIERAH binti Nurizan. The third is Muhammad HIZWAN bin Rusli. The fourth is Muhammad HASNUL Hamdi bin Ishaq. The fifth is NURU FAKI SHUHADA binti Harun. And the last one is Muhammad IZZAT bin Muhammad Nasir. Today I will starting with the first presenter, which is ATHIERAH binti Nurizan. Thank you.
Okay, my name is ATHIERAH binti Nurizan. I will present for question A and B for PBL2. Okay, for the first question is to explain advantages of database management system. There are 4 advantages for Lestari Perdana Sdn Bhd using the database management system, which is the scalability. Scalability means that a system can be expanded, modified, or downsized easily to meet the rapidly changing needs of a Lestari Perdana Sdn Bhd business. The next advantage is stronger standard, where the effective database administration helps to ensure that standard for data names, format, and documentation are followed uniformly throughout the organization. The third advantage is better security. The database administrator can define authorization procedure to ensure that only legitimate users can access the database and can allow different users to have different level of access. Most database management systems sophisticated security support. And the last advantage is data independent. Systems that interact with the database management system are relatively independent of how the physical data is maintained. That design provide the database administrator flexibility to alter data structure without modifying information system that use the data. Okay, for the second question is to identify the primary key for each of the entity. There are 3 primary key for each entity. The first primary key is the branch, which is the located branch. The second one is the position of the employee and also the employee itself. Usually it's the employee ID that will be used to differentiate all the employee. Okay, what is the purpose of assigning the primary key? The purpose of Lestari Perdana Sdn Bhd assigning the primary key when creating database in Access is to implement relationship between tables in a relations database. Primary key allow to create a unique identifier for each row in the table. It is important because it helps to link the table to other table relationship using primary key as a link. The use of a primary key is in the case of a user's table. The ID column is likely to be a primary key because it needs to be unique. We may also set this column to auto increment, but the most important component is the primary key. The primary key also provides a specifically and unique identifier a row of data or record in the table when building access database. For example, in an employee table, the primary key will be the employee ID or the name of the employee that unique to each employee. Usually, we will use employee ID to differentiate each of the employee, and it's more easier and short. Lastly, the primary key provide ways for database administrator and programmer to reference a particular row without regard to the other information in that row. Other tables in the database may reference the primary key, When it is reference from a different table, it is known as a foreign key. That's all from me. Thank you, and I will pass to HIZWAN.
Hi, my name is Muhammad HIZWAN. Okay, for question C, the entity relationship diagram is just like this. Okay, for this is ERD payroll management. So in the company has the company has the company ID and company name, and it has branch. So branch will store with a branch name, address, and branch ID. And then branch is managed by a branch manager. So branch manager store photo, name, position, ID, and department. And branch manager employs the employee. So the employee will store the database about the position, photo, employee name, gender, employee ID, IC number, date of birth, contact person, contact number, and address. An employee gets salary. So get salary. In the salary, the database will store about the basic salary, allowance, EPF, and so. So the branch manager pays salary as well. Okay, for question D, discuss 3 characteristics of web design. So 3 from the characteristic of the web design are global access, which is the internet enable worldwide access using existing infrastructure and standard telecommunication protocols. And the second characteristic is easy of use, where web browsers provide a familiar interface that is user-friendly and easy to learn. And third of the characteristic is multiple platform, which is the web-based design is not dependent on a specific combination of hardware or software. All that is required is a browser and an internet connection. Okay, that's all from me.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to you, our lecturer, Sir Ridwan. I am Muhammad HASNUL Hamdi bin Ishaq, and I will present to you for the next slides. Okay, this slides is about 7 common coding methods that are widely used in a network codes. The first one is sequence codes. Okay, sequence codes are numbers or letters that are assigned in a specific order. For example, consecutive employee numbers, consecutive student metric numbers, and many more. Alright, so the second one is block sequence codes. Okay, this type of codes use blocks of numbers for different classification. As example, for subject in university, 100 to 200 code of number used for freshman courses, 200 to 300 codes used for sophomore level courses, and so on. Right. So the third one is alphabetical codes. Okay, this type of codes use alphabet letters to distinguish one item from another based on a category, an abbreviation, or an easy to remember value called a mnemonic code. Alright, there are 2 types of alphabetic codes. The first one is a category code. As example, in a supermarket, they use some alphabetic code for their department. Example, GN for the gardening supplies department, HW for hardware, EL for electronics department, and many more. Alright, so the second type of alphabetic code is the abbreviation codes. For example, for airport in the world, they use abbreviation codes. And there are 2 types of this code that they are using, which is the first one, a mnemonic code, which is easy to remember, such as KUL, cool for Kuala Lumpur, MIA for Miami, and many more. Okay, so the second one of abbreviation code, there are mnemonic code, which is not easy to remember, such as ORD stand for Chicago O'Hare, or MCO stand for Orlando, not movement control order. Okay. Alright. So the fourth codes that has been used widely in network codes called significant digit codes. Okay, this type of codes use a series of subgroup of digits. For example, easily you can see the postal codes. Alright, you can see the example on the right side of the point. Okay. So, okay, number 5 is derivation codes. Okay, this kind of codes derive from characteristic of item attributes. Okay, this is kind of tricky. Alright. Example, a magazine use a subscriber's 5-digit postal code followed by the first, third, and fourth letter of the subscriber's last name, and then the last 2 digits of the subscriber's house number, and to be added the first, third, and fourth letter of the subscriber's street name. Easy to say, it is a combination of a code or number from the item, derived from the item. Okay, you can see the example at the right side of the point. Okay, so the 6 codes is called a cipher codes. Okay, cipher codes use a keyword to encode a number. Right. So, example, a retail store might use a 10-letter word such as campground, CAMPGROUND, to code a wholesale price, where the letter C represents number 1, ringgit, number 1, A represents number 2, and so on. So, as example, a code of grand, GRAND, in a cipher codes means the store paid 562 ringgit and 90 cent for the item. So they use a group of a letter or keyword to represent a value of the price of the item. So this is a cipher codes. Alright, and last but not least, for the common coding codes used widely in the network codes is the action codes. Okay, action codes indicate what action is to be taken with an associated item. Alright, so for example, a system user need to enter or click an action, such as in a system, you can see there are such example, D for a display record, A to add a record, and X to exit the program. We can see this most usually in a student system, in old school system. Usually they use this kind of codes. Alright, thank you so much. So we go to the next slide. Okay, for the next slide, we will discuss about the network topology. Okay, there are a lot of network topology that we can use in a network. Okay, and this is the 3 comparison of network topology that I am going to describe to you guys. Okay, so the first one is ring topology. This is very easy, ring topology. So the computers and other network of devices are cabled together in a way that the last device is connected to the first to form a circle or ring. You can see the example on the left side of the point. So there are printer connected to the scanner and then connected to the PC, to the departmental server, and to the PC, and it goes to the printer again. Alright, so the second topology here is a bus topology. Alright, this type of topology means every workstation is connected to a single cable, meaning every host is directly connected to every other workstation in the network. You can see the example at the right side of the point, where there are one bus line, BUS line, in the middle. So every every workstation, every PC, every printer will be connected to the line. So everything is connected to each other in this kind of network topology. Alright. So the third one is star topology. Alright. So star topology is a central cabling device which we call a switch that connects the computer and other network devices together. Okay, so what is the difference between the star topology and the bus topology? Alright, so bus topology, they use one cable network, and then they connect all the other workstation into the cable, the main cable. But in star topology, every computers and other network devices are connected to a switch, not to a single cable, but to a switch. There are something that we call like a router, a switch that can connect everything, all the network device, and they will connect the switch to the departmental servers. Meaning to say, it seems like the bus topology, everything is connected, every network station is connected. Only is the method of connection is different. For bus topology, they use a single line cable to connect everything. But in a star topology, they use a switch, a cabling device to connect all the network devices and the computers. So, and the ring topology, very, very different from these two. Ring topology did not connect everything to each other, but only they will in a topology they will connect them in a circle. So basically, from printer they will go to scanner, they will go to PC first, to the departmental server, to the PC, and then will go to the printer bag. So I think that's all from me, and we will go to the next slide. Thank you so much.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NURU FAKI SHUHADA binti Harun. I will explain about types of system testing. The first one is test data. Should contain both correct data and erroneous data, and should test all possible situations that should occur. For example, for a field that allows a range of numeric values, the test data should contain minimum values, maximum values, values outside the acceptable range, and alphanumeric characters. During tests, programmers can use software tools to determine the location and potential causes of program errors. The second one is testing. The programmer simulates each program outcome or result and displays a message to indicate whether or not the program executed successfully. Each stop represents an entry or exit point that will be linked later to another program or data file. The third one is test plan. Consists of detailed procedures that specify how and when the testing will be performed, who will participate, and what test data will be used. A comprehensive test plan should include scenarios for every possible situations the program could encounter. The fourth one, integration testing, are testing two or more programs that depend on each other. As an example, consider an information system with a program that checks and validates customer credit status, and a separate program that updates data in customer master file. The output from the validation program becomes input to the master file update program. Last but not least, system testing are involved the entire information system. A system test includes all likely processes as intended to assure users, developers, and managers that the program meets all specifications and that all necessary features have been included. Now I will explain about type of documentation that is essential for successful system operation and maintenance. The first one, operation documentations. If the information system environment involves a mainframe or centralized servers, the analyst must prepare documentation for the IT group that supports centralized operations. A mainframe installation might require the scheduling of batch jobs, the distributions of printed reports. The second one, user documentations. This consists of instructions and information to users who will interact with the system and includes user manuals, help screens, and online tutorials. The last but not least, online documentation. This type will provide immediate help when they have questions or encounter problems. Many users accustomed to context-sensitive help screen, hints, tips, hypertext, on-screen demos, and other users-friendly features commonly found in popular software packages. They expect the same kind of support for in-house developed software. This is the most productive types for users who like to learn by doing and visual impact, and will reduce times for IT staff of the company in providing telephone, email, or face-to-face assistance. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass to the next presenter, Muhammad Izzat.
I will answer the question about system implementation and system support and security for the question C. System changeover is the process of putting the new information system online and retiring the old system. There are 4 changeover methods, which are direct cutover, parallel operation, pilot operation, and phase operation. Since there are 4 methods of changeover, I will explain a little bit about it. First, direct cutover. Direct cutover is the changeover from the old system to the new system to immediately when the new system become operational. This method is the least expensive compared to other methods and is involve more risk. Besides, this method is difficult to detect minor error because user cannot verify current output by comparing it to output from the old system. Second, parallel method. This method requires that both the old and the new information system operate fully for a specified period. Advantage of this method is lower risk. It is easier to verify that the new system is working properly compared to direct cutover because the output from both system is compared and verified during parallel operation. There are some disadvantages for this method. It is the most costly changeover method. User must work in both systems and the company might need temporary employees to handle the extra workload. It is not practical if the old and the new system are incompatible. It is also inappropriate when the two systems perform different functions if the new system involves a new method of business operation. Third, pilot operation. It involves implementing the complete new system at the selected location of the company. It is a combination of parallel operation and direct cutover methods. The advantage of this method are: first, pilot site reduce the risk of system failure. Second, it is less expensive than parallel operation. Third, take the short period if the system proves successful at the pilot site. Fourth, phase operation. This method allows the new systems to be implemented in stage. Sometimes analysts confuse between the phase and pilot operation. Phase operation is only a part of system is given to all users. Meanwhile, pilot operation provide the entire system, but only some user the advantage of this method. The risk of error failure is limited, less expensive. The disadvantage of this method: it is not possible if the system cannot be separately easily into logical modules. Phase operation can cost more than pilot approach if the system involves a large number of separate phases. For the question D, there are 3 types of maintenance tasks, which are corrective maintenance, adaptive maintenance, and preventive maintenance. For corrective maintenance, that is the diagnose and correct error in an operational system. To avoid introducing new problems, all maintenance work require carefully analyzed before making changes. The best maintenance approach is a scaled down version of SDLC itself, where investigation, analysis, design and testing are performed before implementing any solution. Any maintenance work that could affect the system must be performed first in the test environment and then migrate to the operational system. Secondly, type in adaptive maintenance is to enhancement to an operational system and makes the system easier to use. An enhancement is a new features of capability. The need for adaptive maintenance usually arise from business environment change, such as a new product or services, new manufacturing technology, or support for a new website operation. The procedure from minor adaptive maintenance is similar to routine corrective maintenance. A major adaptive maintenance project is like a small scale SDLC project because the development procedure is similar. Adaptive maintenance can be more difficult than the new system development because the enhancement must work within the constraint of an existing system. Third type is preventive maintenance that involves changing an operational system to make it more efficiency, reliable or maintainable. During system operation, changes in user activity or data pattern can cause a decline in efficiency, and preventive maintenance might be need to restore performance. When users are concerned about performance, it should be determined if a preventive maintenance project could improve response time and system efficiency. Preventive maintenance usually cost effective during the middle of the system operational life. Early in system operation, preventive maintenance usually is no need. Later, preventive maintenance might be necessary but have a high cost. When performing preventive maintenance, analysts often use a technique called software engineering. Thank you.
The end. Thank you for your watching. Hopefully you enjoy with our video. Thank you.